Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Juno New Origins live stream. It has been a minute since I've streamed this game. I've been playing a lot of Space Engineers recently, just because that's what I've, been interested in and wanted to play. But we are back to our bread and butter, our main girl, Juno New Origins. So, where we left off with this career, we had, let's take a look at the tech tree. We'd gotten through a lot of the tech tree. We're about in the mid game at this point. There's still some of the end game techs and stuff that we have not unlocked yet. But we've gotten through a good chunk of all the different branches of the tech tree, and we've gotten through a decent portion of the contracts. So we've got a couple more contracts to get through. The one I had accepted last is the alley race. This is a ground race, and it's a little tricky. So we're gonna work on that one today. This race in particular is tricky because you have to jump up onto a building through like a Connex box ramp. I don't think I've ever actually gotten this one done successfully. So we're going to do that today. See if we can at least. Let's start by making our car. Let's just give this the battery. Actually, we'll make this smaller. We'll do... more like that. Okay. Come on. There we go. So I want to build a relatively fast car. It doesn't need to be very big. We'll use this as like the actual main body of the car. And then let's shape it a little bit, shall we? So we'll have a kind of center portion here. There we go. That's 1.4. Yeah, that general shape. And this won't be perfectly rectangular. We'll round the corners a little bit here. Like that. Maybe take it to 40% radius. Yeah, there we go. That looks a little better. Okay, so that'll be the main body of the car. Now for the wheels, and then just for scale to make sure I'm making this the right size. Yeah, that's about right. I guess we could make this a little taller. Sure. Okay. That'll be the body of the car, the overall shape. Let's take a look at the wheels. Where are they? This one? Yeah, here we go. Actually, I want to do like a little wheel well sort of thing. I don't have cargo bays. I could just do Just another empty fuel tank on the side here. So if I put that there, flatten it, put the wheel on the front, widen this a little bit so that it covers the wheel. Like that. Can I do a half, though? Can I make this a hemisphere, basically? I guess I can't. Okay. Let's do this then. Corner 2 and 3 get squared off. Like that. I think that works. Oh, you know what? I could do the inlet. No, that wouldn't work either because it's okay. We don't have enough. We have not unlocked the right parts to really make this look good, so we're just going to make do with what we've got here. There we go. Okay. And then what kind of... We have racing, rugged, retro. We want a racing wheel. Yeah, I think that's what we want. So then I turn the mirror symmetry on. Got 2 in the back. Copy this. Rotate it into position. And then push it forward. I'm going to turn the turning angle off on this. This one's going to have the turning angle. Do we want it to have a seat? Do we want a driver, or do we want just a autonomous car, basically? Stick a camera on it. Can making a starship with flaps help save money in game? It depends. So the big way you can save money is you use the cheapest materials and engines possible for the mission. So if you want to make a cheap mission, you design it to be the absolute cheapest you can do for the mission. And you get really, really close to how to say this. You should use solid rocket motors when you can. You should only use exactly enough fuel when you can. You know, that's kind of how you save money on a mission in this game. Semi-gloss looks all right. Make an interior. I'm not going that far. This is just to complete a mission. I'm not going to go through all the effort to make a fully fleshed out interior. I want to make it look okay, but it doesn't need to be perfect, you know. Let's see. This has battery in it, right? Yep. So that has our battery. We'll lower this. I want my center of gravity to be lower. So this will be the very bottom of the car. I don't like SRBs in this type of game. Well, that's... You should like them. They are very cheap. They have a lot of thrust. They're not the most efficient, right? But they're cheaper than like most of the other engines you could get, and that's why you should like them. Because, yeah, maybe they're not like the most efficient. They're not the best engine, but they're the most cost-effective engine, right? There's a reason we use SRBs all the time in real rocket programs. NASA likes SRBs. What are like almost every rocket has SRBs up until like recently. Obviously, SpaceX doesn't use solid rocket boosters, but almost everyone else does, and with good reason. Okay, let's add a couple more things. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna add a fuel tank to this guy. Make like a little rectangular fuel tank. Hold on. What's up? Hello, welcome to the live stream. We're building a car to do a racing contract if you're just showing up. So put the fuel tank in the back, just leave it slightly exposed. Move the engine to the front. Actually, we could do a back-mounted engine. Okay, that works. Now let's do... hold on. I'm just trying to get this positioned correctly here. Get it lined up nicely. There we go. That looks good. All right. So that's our engine. And why is our fuel tank all out of whack too? Let's unconnect that real quick. I'm going to reconnect this fuel tank. Because apparently I did not connect that entirely correctly. There we go. Part connections. Add new connection. Surface connect. This guy's going to carry jet fuel. And this guy burns jet fuel. Perfect. Try to get this angle perfect. Okay, let's test it out. Let's make sure it handles properly. We'll tune the engine or tune the wheels next. And then yeah, we'll see how she runs. Whoa, there we go. Okay, the controls are set up right. needs a little bit more torque. But it rolls and it turns pretty well. Okay, that'll do. More torque, lower gear ratio. 30 meters per second is plenty. So if we just put some better acceleration, and then I'm gonna what? No! Game, why would you do that to me? Yeah. It's ugly though. Well, shit. Now it's gone. That's great. You gotta start over. All right. Rip. Yeah, that's not what I wanted to happen. Foiled. I've been foiled by a loading glitch. All right. Let's do it again. Let's put a Drew down for scale. I like putting a Drew down in the build space so that I know like how big I'm building something relative to a guy. It's easy. It's really easy to like to get the scale of what you're doing off. Okay. Okay, that's the general shape. Make a sports car. We're not spending a ton of time just designing a car. We're just getting something that works for now. We can fancy it up later if we really, really want, but for now we're just getting something that works. At least I know what I'm doing. Like I've done it once, it'll be faster to build a second time. Okay. Nope, 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 nope. Go back on there. There we go. Okay. Now we can mirror this again. What? No. Come on. Rotate, please. Rotate, please. Rotate. Right there. There we go. Mirror. Good enough. Okay. That'll work for now. Rotate, please. Yeah. Just please stop fighting me. Just cooperate. All right. We don't have any light parts. I would add like lights and stuff to this. Headlights. Brake lights even. But since we don't have any light parts, I'm kind of limited in what I can do with that. So we'll leave it for now. I'm not even going to add an engine anymore. It's just going to be the wheels and the battery. We're making it real simple. Save craft. Career mode. Basic car. Oh, well. I was going to call it basic car, but I hit enter too early. Oops. Okay. I guess I could add, hold on. We could add like a grill to the front of the car of a sorts. Kind of like that. And then just give it a different texture. Or no texture. Or, ooh, I could do a bunch of these. Maybe. This would be a lot of parts, but it could look good. Let's try this. Add like a grill to the car. But then spacing them is going to be a huge pain in the butt. No, I don't want to do that. That would take a lot of effort. Let's do this instead. Okay, that works. That works for now. That'll be fine. What do we do to these wheels? This one had a turning angle of like 20, which I think was plenty. RPM input is going to be pitch, vice throttle. All-wheel drive. More torque. Higher gear ratio. Do we do a 1-to-1 gear ratio? Get all the torque. Let's try. Let's test it out. If this works better. Oh, Survival Freak 10 SUV says, please listen to me. I have a trick that can earn you a lot of tech points. Okay, I'm listening. Yeah, there we go. That's a lot of torque. That's a lot of speed. Woo! And we've rolled it. Hey, we're back up. Sick air. I hope it fits, because I think we have to go through a gate. Whoa! Alright, it's a good thing our center of gravity is so low. Well, I gotta drive it into this hangar. This has got a little bit too much turn. We might have to... Oh, jeez. Okay, so this is the tricky part, right? I've got to drive up this ramp hard and fast. And I think my front wheels are too far forward for that. We're going to slow down time. I'm going to gun it at 1/4 time. .24 meters per second should be plenty. I just need to make sure I hit this ramp. I might also blow the car up on the ramp. Hey? Hey! Got it. Stuck the landing, too. Sort of. Okay, let's recover our vehicle. Okay, so we can do it. We need to make some changes. I think... Do we have another alley race? There's torpedo again. I don't want to do torpedo. Endurance trip, 10 tech points if crewed. Sure, we can do that. 25 kilometers. If we're moving as fast as we are, that's not going to take that long. We could just do laps around the base. Before we do this, though, I'm going to max out the sideways traction, and I'm going to enable suspension on these wheels. I'm going to roll this one a little farther forward, and this one a little farther back. And we'll give it that paint job again. Okay. Little red car. Any other details we wanted to this car? I guess one thing we could do is add like a spoiler to it. So if I do something like this. I'm not doing a full interior for this car right now. I don't have the so remember I'm playing in career mode. I don't have the variety of parts I would need to make a good interior. I don't even have cargo bays. Um so I'm not going to do an interior. It's not going to be like it's not going to be easy for one. And it's just not worth the time. This isn't I'm not going to be live streaming me like meticulously building the interior of a car for the next 3 hours. This is just like playing through, the contracts and the missions of the game. But we can do this. Have a little spoiler wing. Turn that off real quick. There we go. Yeah, that works. Let's make that a little wider, too. There we go. All right. That looks a little better. A little downforce. No, I don't have cargo bays unlocked yet. They're not here. I have so the way career mode works, you earn tech points, right? And then if you go in here and let's see, cargo bays are trapdoor. Yeah. So I need another 30 tech points to get cargo bays. So we don't have them yet. We will eventually get them, and then once we do, we can start putting more complicated things together. What I am going to do, hold on, I'm going to change my connection points here. Connect that to the surface. Wait. There we go. I just ruined the symmetry on these wheels for some reason. Okay, now I should be able to grab that off. Grab that off. Perfect. So what I want to do is I want to change this out for a crew compartment. Like that. Pop that there. Perfect. It's the right size. No texture. Now it's like a stretch limousine. We'll fix that in a second. Don't worry. All right, that can hold one crew, so I can put Addison Beck is going to drive our car. Sweet. That looks a little better. Hello, welcome to the live stream. Yeah, it looks a little bit like a rally car. It's better. It's better. This is not like, you know, this is no one's favorite or best car build ever made, you know. That's not the point. The point is I can drive it 25 kilometers. And it's really fast. Because that'll make doing this contract really easy. Because I can top out, what am I topping now? 80 meters per second now? 79, 80 meters per second, basically. Let's slow down a little bit. All right, I want to see how the turn handles. And we'll go off-road. Ooh, get the bumps out of our system there. I could actually make the... What I could do is, right now these are just fuel tanks. They don't have any like aerodynamic property. I could make them wings and actually have them create a downforce on the car to get better traction. Because like right now I have like almost zero traction. I'm going to finish this mission anyway. That'll be the next upgrade we do to this car, is we give it actual downforce. But it's rolling. Yeah. The problem is it's not changing its direction very easily. I need it to be able to corner a lot faster. And this is not... That's not nominal. That's not what you want it to be doing. It sounds kind of weird. It's got like a weird hollow sound to it almost. All right, let's see if we can turn. Turn. Don't go up the hills. There we go. There we go. Yeah. All right, I'm just going to hold down the accelerator. And we got plenty of batteries, so we'll definitely be able to make this on one charge. We're not going to have to recharge or anything. We're already almost halfway there. We're cruising right now. We're going really fast. Okay, just gentle. I'm going to do a gentle turn. There we go. Keep my speed up. I'm going to coast. I'm bouncing a little bit, and I want to just slow down. All right, now we give it some gas. Nope, we're still bouncing. Hold on. I want to get this. I don't want to bounce. I don't want to bounce. That's not what we want. There we go. Just nice, straight acceleration. Just flooring it. Here we go. And do the stationary flyby. I guess that doesn't look as fast as it is, but that is fast. I think for context, so like 12.5 meters per second is 70 kilometers an hour, which is like normal road speed. And we're going I don't know. We're going pretty quick. We're almost at 25 kilometers. I think this is our second full lap around the base now. All gas, no brakes. We're almost at 25 kilometers. 18 kilometers now. 240 meters per second to miles per hour. I'm going 150 miles an hour. I'm American, so we're doing American units of speed. 150 miles per hour is quick. We're at 20 kilometers. Only 5 more to go. Yeah, freedom units are superior. Oh, let's slow down before we lose control of the vehicle. There we go. I could make this car faster. It's not a top speed issue, it's a control issue. Yeah, like I have not maxed out the torque on these wheels, and I could make the wheels a little bit bigger and get a little bit more performance out of them. I was going for a good medium of like control and acceleration, and even with that like compromise, my control is still like pretty rough. But we are almost at the end of the contract. We're half a kilometer, 500 meters more to go. 300, 200, 100. That's the contract. All right, let's bring her to a stop. Pretty good, pretty good. That was pretty good. All right, let's I'm going to save this car and we're going to change the spoilers to actual wings. I want to get some actual downforce. So let's drop those and replace them with actual wings. We'll make the wings smaller for one. Okay. There we go. So those are a little big. We'll make these more, car sized. Oh, and it resized the tip here. Hold on. Let me fix that. Part connect tool. Tip connect. Sweet. So, with that set up the way it is, I just need to create some downforce, right? So if I just rotate these, like that, that should push the wheels into the ground better. I'm also going to do wings on the front of the car. Airfoil. Yeah, just rotate down slightly. Sweet. And this guy's going to be pretty short in, but he's going to go like the length of this fuselage almost. I think that'll help. I think that helps. I don't know if this will actually help with control, but I think it will. It's gonna fly. It shouldn't fly. We're trying to make it do the opposite of that. We're trying to get it to hug the ground, not leap off the ground. So I'm using these wings to create downforce. That's the idea. That is a practice that race cars do all the time. In order to increase their traction, they have like aero attached. They just call it aero, but it's just shorthand race car slang for aerodynamics. But they attach aero to their cars so that it hugs the ground better. It's the general idea. Let me get these to meet nicely. Just right there. There we go. Let's try it. Let's see if that increases traction. Let's pull up. Options. Wing vectors. Oh, is it not going to show me wing vectors? Oh, because we're not in sandbox. Okay. I was going to say I can literally pull up the wing vectors and it'll show me. I think that's better. I've angled them down. So they should push the craft down. But maybe you're right. Maybe I haven't reversed them. Undo and exit. Oh, you know what I can do? Actually. I forgot that they added this as an option. I can flip this. I can flip this lift coefficient. Hold on. Delete. Delete. They made this nice little sine wave here. For some reason. Okay, so I want just a general downforce. Save. Doesn't allow custom lift coefficients. Well, shoot. Airfoil. What if I do this? What? It flips it? Oh my goodness. All right. That's not helping. Delete. Delete. We'll leave the spoiler. Traction, 150%. Maxed out the traction. It's all traction. I could do a control surface with constant negative pitch, but I think this is fine. The wing angled down should have enough. Yeah, and I don't care for how that would look. Okay, we're gonna finish this up and move on. Actually, hold on. Before we go, is there any other race contracts? Speed contracts? One drew in the mountains. Nope. This car is not set up for going into the mountains at all. There's the Alley Air Race. We'll accept that one, I guess. I'm going to make a running board for the car. All right, I guess not a running board, but you know, the things on the cars. I'm not a car guy. This thing. Sure, that works. Okay, we're going to save this for now. Save craft, career mode, race car. Let's load up our don't like you anymore. These are our rockets. Boat. Biplane. I can't even use this. Nope. Nope, that's not it. So I had this this biplane, which is good. It's a, decent plane. And I've used it for a lot of the career mode missions so far. But I don't know if this is going to have the power for a race. We could give it a shot. Max RPM 2500. Okay. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, again, it's not a real cockpit because I don't have the required parts to build an actual nice cockpit. This thing should be fast enough though. It's plenty maneuverable. Yeah, this is fast enough. Let me add a roll correction, just a slight roll trim here. Even that's too much. Okay. Now that we got some airspeed, it's actually not too bad. This thing's wicked fast. All right, buzz the tower to start. Yes, the McDonald's plane. This has been called that. Okay, through the canyon. So far, so good. A little bit of a barrel roll to get that turn in. Two more checkpoints after this one. Push the throttle all the way to the max. Let's go as fast as we can here to get to this next checkpoint. We'll go up over the mountain here. I have 3 minutes, 35 seconds left. That's plenty of time. I'm going to go for the... Come around for a run on the runway here. Throttle off. All the way to idling. Not quite a touchdown. We'll keep up our speed a little bit here. Because I need to land. So we're just doing barely cruising airspeed here. 70 meters per second. Just enough to keep me airborne. Let's come around for a landing. Yeah. Stay down. Nope, stay down. Stay tail down. All right, there we go. I would have ruined... If this was a real plane, I would have totally ruined the propellers. But that's fine. We have 65 tech points now. 11 tech points of crude. 15 tech points of crude. That seems a lot for a long range mission like that. Observer mission, CubeSat mission, SmallSat, Luna Impact, or Luna Flyby. I think it's time we do a flying mission. Can no longer be accepted after 0.7 days. Should we go for this rescue mission first? Or should we go for a rocket mission? This one goes away after 0.7. It will come back, like other rescue missions will come back. Let's do the rocket mission. Luna Impactor. And then I'm also going to do the Observer mission. I'm going to do both. Because we're going to try and double up, right? We're sending 2 missions to the moon. We can absolutely do a multi-mission launch like this. We'll call this the racing biplane. Loadcraft. Career mode rocket 3, I think, is my biggest one. Let's look at what the payloads are. 1.4 ton impactor. That's heavy. And then a 2-ton observer. Also heavy. I don't need any of these. What if I attach this guy just to the surface of the vehicle? Nope, it doesn't let me. Okay. They're bugged recently? Oh, maybe it's a new update or something that changed them. Okay, what if we do... Get rid of that. What if we do a inner stage to separate between these two? So I put a base here, fold it down. Like that. Now I can put the impactor on that, put the cover. Oh, is that not going to work? There, that works. And then I can add the other probe to the top of this. So they're separated like that. I think that looks all right. Let's look at our performance. Just with this upper stage engine, 5.57 kilometers per second, 3 kilometers per second. These are slightly overexpanded. But if I make them a little bigger, that'll give me enough thrust to weight ratio. Now I can add a little bit more fuel to this bottom stage to take it all the way out to 19 meters. This should do it. Price 8.7 million. I think this contract pays out 150 million or something. We could also definitely add SRBs to this if we're worried about, liftoff and Delta V requirements. I could just... We've got the budget for this mission. Let's add some... Let's add some SRBs. Like that. Line it up. Come on. Is that lined up? There we go. Okay. So that's lined up. And then mirror. We'll do radial 2 symmetry for that. Slap a nose cone on it. All right, let's make him look a little better. Okay, what time is it in your location? It's 11 p.m. here. It is 11 p.m. I'm living in Hawaii right now. So I'm in the same time zone as you. All right, sweet. That looks good. Let's actually add channels texture to this. Maybe not quite that tiled. A little bit less. A little bit less. We'll do the same for this one. And then what I like to do is bring the detail level down a little bit. So it has a texture, and you can kind of see that it has a texture, but it isn't until you like really look close that you see that texture very well. And that I think looks better. Generally speaking, I think that looks better. Let's also, let's add some more like physical texture to it. Oh, I'm sorry. You said it's 11 p.m. It's 11 a.m. I am 12. I'm on the other side of the world from you right now. All the way around. I did not look at that time right. Rotate, please. Rotate, please. There we go. So that just adds a little bit more, dynamic texture to it. Yeah, good night to you, dude. That is late. So I'm going to copy this section here. And do that. Now let's paint. We could do silver bands for these. Or maybe we just do like a off-white, like a grade. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. Let's verify that rocket still performs. Goblin solid motor payloads. So all 6 engines, and then interstage, interstage, interstage. Put that one up there. There we go. Always check your staging. Okay. I think she's ready for launch. How much does this rocket cost? 14 million. Let's just look at the staging again real quick, make sure it works. So all engines, side boosters separate off, deploy the fairing, second stage payloads. Got it. Manuel, Manuel, you're very funny. That is very funny. Yes. It needs to be pointier. It doesn't look scary. It needs to be pointier. Okay, let's zoom out to Luna. Target it. Pretty sure I want it to be back there. We'll go for an early morning launch. And just as the moon sets, we're ready. All right, in 3, 2, 1. Oh, cannot activate stage during time warp. 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We'll do our roll. What? Was a little late on the roll programming, so we're a little more vertical than I intended to be. But we'll make it work. I'm just going to control it with the throttle now. Nice and easy. All right, we're going to go flat. And there we are. We are in space. All right. First stage is expended. Oop, don't fall back into the atmosphere, please. How much delta V do we have on this? 3.9. That should be enough. But only if I don't fall back into the atmosphere. Okay, we're falling back into the atmosphere now. Move that over here. This will be our circularization burn. Okay, we're in orbit. Target Luna. Now we need to be right about here. Because you basically need to point at Luna when you burn. Okay, there's our orbit. Now we are not parallel to Luna. That's okay. Because what I should do is point normal. come out a little bit. There we go. Now we're bringing our approach in slightly. Now retrograde to drop it closer to the surface. $100 kilometers is fine. And we time warp. All right, we are at Luna. I should probably look at the surveyor orbit requirements. 82 and 144 kilometers, 378 and 544. Okay, so that's perfect. And then I just need to crash the impactor. So let's come down into orbit here, into the low point at my periapsis. Detach the observer probe. Perfect. Okay. So we are in our contracted orbit. Now I just need to detach the probe. Probe is detached. There it goes. All right, probe's done. Let's point away from the probe real quick. Break that off. I didn't. Probably should have had some force on that detacher, but that's fine. We're going to aim retrograde now. Let time pass. We've gotten away from our probe. And just drop it. And that's it. Now we have to crash under 100 meters per second. So I'm going to decelerate and then drop the impactor. The fuel is plenty. We got plenty of fuel here. Or should at least. Yeah, should have plenty of fuel. Three, two, one. Okay, so again, I need to just rotate this way, drop it. What? It broke? It was going less than 100 meters per second. Well, that wasn't the outcome I was expecting. That's lame. Ooh, Alley Race 2. We'll do that one again. Now that we've got a card that'll do it. Okay, we did get some progression. There is the Siluro orbit and the Siluro flyby. We could do these both, but we would need a big rocket, and I would need some more tech. Luna flyby, that's not a great payout. The CubeSat mission pays better than that. Okay. Take the Siluro missions. We will. Real quick, I'm going to save this vehicle. You got scammed. I know, right? That's weird. Call this Career Road Rocket 4 because it's bigger. Let's load our career mode race car. I could add windows to this, I guess, to make it look a little better. I could do that. Should I do that? Should I add a window? A windscreen? That. Okay. Okay. That's fine. That's good enough. That's a good enough for a window. Let's go to the runway. And let's gun it. Oh, we already started on the... Okay, that's fine. $80 meters per second, all the way up. And the train's glitching out over there. I don't know what that deal is. Yeah, KSP glitch. It's Clang come back to haunt us. Oh, that was a fun drift into that one. That actually kind of went well. Okay, doing good so far. All right, now this is where I slow down time to get this shot lined up. But I think I'm already pretty well lined up for it. Nailed it. All right. Well, we crashed the car. No, quick saves for cowards. We did it right the first time. That's a successful run. Ooh, Ali air race 20 tech points if crewed. All right, this is how you farm. This is how you farm tech points right here. You just do these race missions, and basically it's the same course each time, but they lower the time you have. Which is a fairly, decent way to do it. Racing biplane. We had plenty of time last run we did of this, so should have no problem doing this. 20 tech points is a lot of tech points. All right, let's just get... Whoa, let's just get, stable there. I'm too far. Hold on, I'm going to do a longer approach. There we go. Try to get my pitch trim set up right. There we go. That's better. Hard with the mouse and keyboard to control this plane, but we're getting it done. My joystick broke. It would have been a lot easier to fly with the joystick. It's a lot more natural feeling. All right. 2 minutes, 40 seconds left. Checkpoint 8. We're just going to buzz the ground. I'm not even going to go for the runway approach. We're just going to buzz it at max speed here. Nice and low. Pick up some speed. Done. All right, kill the throttle. Let's come around for the landing. Almost perfectly lined up. Almost. Not quite, but almost. Trying not to like nose plant this thing, but I I can't. I can't help but nose plant it. All right. So another 20 tech points. We should have 145 now. That is plenty. We're going to do some Scyther missions, and to do those, we need better engines. So that's not it. Electric power cycle. So these are... We can get bigger engines, yeah. But do we want that? What else do we have? Planned maneuvers. Okay, we absolutely need planned maneuvers if we're going to go to Scyther. I think the next thing we could do is... So we have the heat shield coating up to 25%. That lets us do up to 100%. We could use bigger parachutes. But I don't think we're going to land on Scyther yet, so we don't need to do that. Docking ports and cargo bays, I think, are more valuable. We're going to do the cargo bays. We'll do the cargo bays, because we want the cargo bays, really. All right. Drew Orbit Rescue. That'd be a good one. Let's accept that one. And then we're going to do the flyby. We're going to do the orbit. And we need to get this guy back. That's the challenge, right? We don't just need to launch a guy to Scyther. We need to get him back from Scyther orbit. So this is going to be a long, long mission. Let's load up our version 4 of this rocket, right? Get rid of the fairings. Get rid of the payloads. Get rid of all that jazz. Is this the command disk? Yes. Okay. Maybe we keep the command disk, but we need a space capsule now, right? Make a new craft? No, I'm gonna use... We'll modify it a lot, but I'm gonna use the same craft we've been using. With some changes. For starters, heat shield. Whoops. Heat shield and parachute. Actually, wait. Load craft. We should probably rescue that guy from orbit first. I'm trying to think what would be the best starting point. This rocket might actually have enough performance in it on its own. It's a little small. We can make it bigger. We're going to do a couple things. One, I don't know what I was thinking with that black paint scheme, but we're doing white. Ah, screw it. Yeah, we're just going to do a new rocket. So this is going to be our primary capsule. We'll put the same recovery stuff on it. So the parachute, heat shield, inner stage to separate it. I'm going to put a command disc on the bottom of this. And then the fuel tank, because this is going to be unmanned. We're going to fly it up without a crew member on board, and then we're going to let the other guy get into the capsule. That's a little big. Give it a big bell. Yeah, I'll take a look at the parachute here in a second. Don't worry. We'll let it gimbal. This does not need a ton. So honestly, we could just make this a much smaller engine. Or just do a couple of these. Four degrees of gimbal doesn't need a whole lot. We could actually just take the gimbal out altogether. Maybe. Let's add the inner stage, and then that'll be the rest of the ship below it. So, inner stage. Nope. Big fuel tank. Okay, so this is going to be our primary. We'll give it volume for battery and some gyros. Do we do two of these for this guy? What do we think? Two? Okay. What does that give us for performance-wise? Engines, inner stage. Should be plenty. Okay, I think that's good for now. Let's start doing the aesthetics of it. So I'm going to go with channels for pretty much all of these parts, and then these will just be clean. Okay, that looks good. Seamless edge. I think that works. Let's do... What else do we want? We can throw a little text on it. Wherever that is, there it is. 180. Height. Not very wide. Int. That's not quite what I wanted. There we go. Paint it red. I like red as a color. The original blue looks ugly. Why don't you put it in black? I will. I'm working on that now. Just like that. I think that's fine. Okay. It should be enough. Take it to the alley pad, launch it. Now, we have to do an orbital rendezvous with this guy, and I did not add any maneuvering thrusters, which is probably a bad idea. Hold on. Undo and exit. Roll it back. I should probably have some maneuvering thrusters on this thing. Here's what I think we're going to do. So we detach everything, right? And then we're just left with this part. Let's see. Rotate. There we go. The parachute modifier. Yeah. I'm remembering there's some stuff to do here. I need maneuvering thrusters on this thing. That's a must. So here's how I'm going to do the maneuvering thrusters for this. We're going to do... Whoops. Nope. Go back. 1, 2. 1, 2. Great. And then add... Okay, so those will be our thrusters. We only have 16 kilograms of fuel per module here, so it's not a lot, but it should be enough to, like, you know, getting close. The main engines are going to be what really drives us. And then auto air cut density disabled. That's what we want. Inflation air density, we can bring that down to like 1,000 meters. That's fine. Yeah, that'll be fine. Max deployment speed will be fine. 320, you know, whatever. It's not going to break. All right, so what we need to do now is wait for this guy. Oh, and we're in a perfect position too, because here he comes. So there he is over there. I'm going to turn off... Hold on. Turn off reaction control system for now. I don't want my thrusters burning. I want to save that for when I'm maneuvering. We need to adjust our vector a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we got a pretty close CPA just off the gate, which is good. But I have to get into orbit before I can really worry about the rendezvous. Okay. Second stage is deployed. Oh, it doesn't have enough thrust to get into space, does it? And where'd my capsule go? All right, hold on. Something went wrong with that flight, and I'm not sure what. I wasn't paying enough attention. Couple of things. I might need new gyroscopes, which I don't have. That's fine. This has gyroscope power, so it should be able to, like, swing it. Let's make that first stage a lot bigger. Oh, well, there's your problem. Go up there. Okay. It's a little better. Let me look at center of mass. So I need to move these guys up a little bit. There we go. Okay. I didn't check my staging. That's what went wrong in the last one. But we should have plenty now. So let's do it again. Exact same thing. We were actually looking pretty good. I could have been a little bit better with the direction I was taking it. Okay. Try it again. Launch. Start pitching over earlier and more. Always check your staging. Yep. All right, we're going to throttle down. All right, our alignment looks pretty good. Okay. Second stage is away. First stage falls back. I think our alignment is about as good as it's going to get. We'll definitely get into orbit this time. We're very close. Ooh. Excuse me, I got like an itch up my nose. Oh, that's unpleasant. All right, we are in orbit. There we go. So let's make a plan maneuver here. We're very close. Retrograde burn real quick. What's its apoapsis? 244? Okay. So what I'm going to do, we're going to pause real quick. I'm going to add a planned burn here. we need to make our orbit match its orbit as closely as possible. So I'm going to rotate our apoapsis to match it about as close as I can. And then we're ahead of him, so I'm going to burn past him. And then there you can see as we increase our velocity here, our orbit goes out longer, so it's a slower orbit. And then we catch him right here. Right at periapsis on the next go round. Or at least that's the idea. Let's turn the sensitivity way down. 9 kilometers. 7 kilometers. 6.2 kilometers. 6.28. 6.42. 5.9. 6.4. Okay. So that's about as close as of a burn I can make with this. We're going to lock it. Toggle to have the craft auto burn and then warp to this burn node. So it comes around. Don't need to dock. I don't think so. Get near the stranded craft. I just need to get the guy to the surface. Okay. And that burn was right on the money. So our approach is 5.86 kilometers away. I'm going to add a burn at the ascending node target now to try and get us the rest of the way. .4. We're getting real close here. 1 kilometer. Closest approach 843. That was too far. 787. Okay, so my closest approach is now really close. Never mind. I didn't want to do that. 0. All right, 550 is close enough. That's a really, really close one. Hello, welcome to the live stream. We're flying rockets today. What's our actual approach now? 684. I will take it. Turn RCS off. All right, so we're going to be target frame of reference now. Retrograde to target. I'm not going to dock and I'm not going to quick save. I know what I'm doing. We're going to spacewalk. So I don't have a docking adapter on this ship. So it's not even a capability of the ship. I'm going to manually fly it in the rest of the way here. No sticky keys. I don't want you. Okay. So our CPA now is 288 meters. So I'm going to position this again. Decelerate. Sweet. All right, lock prograde. Translation mode is enabled for my RCS thrusters. Ooh, that drains the RCS quickly. Okay. Here it comes. Decelerate. Nice and easy, nice and easy. Beautiful approach. We're just going to take this nice and slow. Oh, shoot. I hit the wrong button. Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o. All right, here's what we're going to do. You might notice that I've already detached my thing. All right, EVA. Enter. Now, can I point this retrograde? Okay. All right. It's going to be a little bit of a bastardized approach. I still have the capsule here. I was able to hold on to it. Hopefully. Hopefully this doesn't blow up. I'm hoping the fuselage will break off here. There we go. Locked velocity retrograde. Okay, so it broke free. We're decelerating. The rest of the capsule is exploding from heat damage. That's fine. Parachute's ready. Okay, we kind of botched that mission, but we recovered it. All right, I've armed the parachute. It's hard to see what's going on. Hold on, let me just take uh quality, visual effects, water. There should be a lighting. Maybe game. Ambient light at night. There we go. Okay, you can kind of see what's going on now. We're decelerating nicely. Parachute should deploy any second now. There goes the parachute. And then here in a couple seconds, it'll inflate. And we'll splash down in the ocean. Did it. We have to recover the craft. If we don't recover the craft, we lose the astronaut. So it costs a little bit more money. But that's fine, because we've got a new astronaut on our roster. Okay, do we do Silero flyby, Silero orbit now? I think it's time. Let's do it. So, we need a big rocket. Let's save this one as career mode rescue rocket. That's fine. Load up. Career mode rocket 4. So this is the big one. But again, we're going to take off all this. Don't need any of that. What we're going to do is we'll have this portion come down to whatever the diameter of the capsule is. I would have liked a bigger capsule. There we go. Set primary. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay, that's our capsule. Again, just the basic, very basic capsule. We're going to have the inner stage right there. And then I'm just going to call this the maneuvering section. It's not even really going to be a rocket, because I'm going to use these Spirit engines for it. Okay, so that's that. And then let's add fairing around it. Yeah, we're going to Silero. We're going to the Mars equivalent in this system. And we'll need solar panels. Okay. We got solar panels on a ring there. There we go. Let's see. Everything else should be in here, right? So gyroscope power. And then let's add. We're not gonna land on Tyler. We're landing back on Drew. We're doing a round trip. Let's see. Battery packs. Okay, so that's going to be our upper module. The plan is we'll lift off. This whole section is going to lift us off, right? This section is what gets us there. With this huge engine, right? So this engine gets us there. And that's, let's see, what's the performance on this stage? Okay, I'm gonna actually have to look at my staging for a second here. That and that, yep, those are good. That's good. Okay, so these engines need to go down here. Okay. All right. Let's see. Looks good. The last little bit there to get us back. Why is that so low? Hold on. Carolox. That should have a lot more delta V, right? Am I crazy? Oh, that's why. There we go. Check your staging. Every time, check your staging. Okay, I think she's ready for launch. Let's take it to the launch pad. Command unit has too many stages assigned. Oh, man. Okay. Let's take a look at this, right? We can... I have 6 total. Can I do 5? Well, let me do 5. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. The parachute we can arm after we separate the capsule. and it auto arms it, that's fine. All right, so you have 599 days to do this. So here's the plan. I'm going to go map, zoom all the way out, select silo row, target it. We're going to have to time warp a bit. To get into the preferred launch position. Okay, I think that does it. Let's just get into orbit now. Lift off, throttle down on the main engines, let the SRBs do the lifting. Let's zoom back in on our rocket. Okay. I'm pretty sure I might not be 100% on like the transfer angle. I might be a little off, but I'm pretty close, I think. So, first things first, get into orbit. All right. Almost there. Upper stage launch. That's away. I might have needed more solid rocket boosters for this. Yeah, that's fail. Oof. Okay. All right. So our rocket's a little heavier. We need more MOAR boosters. More boosters. Luckily, that's an easy thing to fix. So here's what we're going to do. One, we're going to make the boosters bigger. And then we're going to make more of them. Simple as that. Okay, staging should all stay the same. 8 and 4 now. Yep. I'm going to bring the power down on these engines for higher efficiency. Oh. And I'm also going to bring the throat size on these down for a longer burn time. Even lower. Sounds good. Let's try it again. All right, rocket is on the pad and ready to go. Throttle up. Oh, yeah. Should be good enough. All right, boosters are providing a lot of thrust. More thrust than I need, really. I'm throttling up the main engine. What's my thrust to weight ratio right now? 2.2. Boosters are separated and away. No fins. I'm not using fins. Okay. Throttle down as we just slowly get into orbit here. I guess we're still in atmosphere. We're like the very edge of the atmosphere right now. We'll see. First, I'm just working on getting into orbit. We have extra druids. Not to sound callous or anything, but we have lots of money and we have lots of astronauts. Okay. We have 313 kilometers per second of delta V left in this stage. We have another 2,000 delta V in the upper stage, or our return stage. That should be enough to get all the way to Mars and back. So we're going to place a burn node right here. Parallel with our orbit. We're going to burn prograde. Whoa, okay. There we go. So that's our escape burn right now. It's only half of our delta V left in this stage. Okay, okay. Hold on, let me just rotate that. There we go. Ooh, that's pretty close. In 127 days, that's an acceptable time. The problem is we have a little bit more delta V to shed. I could do a very light aero brake, but it would be tricky. Okay. Whoop. Too far. Let's take the sensitivity down a little bit. More. So now we're getting into the fine adjustments, right? For this burn. Okay. That's going to be our initial burn. This is a rough burn. 4 minutes, 1.5, so half of our delta V. How do I calculate the delta V to calculate planetary trip systems? There is a table somebody made that a delta V, it's called the delta V subway map. Imagine like you're looking at a subway map of a city and it's got lines to each of the different places. So from Drew surface to Drew orbit, from Drew orbit to Brigo orbit, from Brigo orbit to Brigo surface. It shows you the delta V for each leg of the trip. And you basically, and each one has been pre-calculated. There are equations you can use to calculate them. Someone went through and did all those calculations and made a chart. There's a Discord for the game that has that chart posted or pinned somewhere in it for people to look at. Okay, here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Burn complete. We're a little off. But that is a correctable amount of deviation. So we're going to warp to exiting our sphere of influence right there. Okay. I'm going to make another burn right here at our perigee or June, I guess you would call it. So we overshot a little bit. Let's bring our thing down. Ooh, nice and close. Nice and close. Okay. Ooh, that's really close. Okay. Good. Good. Too far. This orbit slingshots us out of the system. I'm just trying to get this parallel. There we go. All right, 204 meter per second burn. Should be relatively easy. We're a little off still. So I'm going to add another planned burn to get us not colliding with the planet. Just a teensy weensy burn. Teensy weensy. 0.17 meters per second. Just a tiny little adjustment here. Okay. This engine does not have the precision for super high efficiency precise burns, which is okay. It just doesn't have the throttling. So we're going to get a little closer and we're going to do our burn right here instead. Lock, overshoot. I'm assuming the engine's going to overshoot a little bit and get us closer than we actually need to be. Oh, that's really close. Okay. Good. So how much do we have left on this engine? 1.33 kilometers. I'm going to quick save this time. All right, that's our flyby contract. Okay. Retrograde. How much delta V is it going to take to orbit? Whoa. Not too much, actually. Oh, that's not too much at all. Okay. I don't want to go all the way into the gravity well here, too. Uh, 36 seconds. I just need to be below 200 million meters apoapsis for orbit to be counted. Sure. And down we go. What's going on? Hold on. Delete burn. Okay. I'm going to do this manually because the computer started doing weird things. That's it. Okay, so we've gotten to orbit. I have 768 meters per second of delta V left on my main stage. I should have about 2 kilometers per second on the return stage. So that should be enough to get back to Drew. So let's select Drew. Now we're not on a time crunch to get back. Let's go to our vehicle. I'm going to select the ascending node. I want to get my inclination to 0. How much is this going to cost me? Oh, really not that much. Okay, good. You want to do inclination change burns at your ascending and descending nodes. And if they're farther away, if you have a highly elliptical orbit, doing your burn out here is a lot more efficient than doing it down here. So this only costs me 30 meters per second. Not a lot. And that gets me nearly on the orbital plane, which will make lining up, future burns to Drew a lot easier. So to go to Drew, we might want to circularize our orbit a bit. Actually, yeah, we're going to want to circularize a bit. So I'm going to burn some more fuel here to circularize. This will help us line up our trajectory to get back to Drew easier. Okay. But not too far down. Let's add a planned burn here. No, let's add a planned burn out here, I think. This might not be the most efficient place to burn, but I want to exit Silo's SOI going the other way, right? Like that. So now I'm going backwards. So now my orbit should get smaller and closer. Yep. Just like that. Okay, this is not the right time. We need to wait for the window. What? Hold on. Quick load. Apparently my eccentricity was off. Less than 200 millimeters. Okay, let's try this again. We did the flyby. Gonna manually bring her in. Less than 10. Oh, 0.1. So we got to get all the way in here. There we go. Okay. Now I have completed the contract. Now I can go back to Drew whenever I want. So we're just going to time warp now. Let's see if this is the right time. It is not. Okay. So a little bit farther. Zoom back in. Plan burn. Pause the game real quick. Still not it. I can't remember. Shoot. I can't remember what the angle is that I'm supposed to be shooting here. We're just going to trial and error this until I'm getting closer. Zoom back out. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Big money, no whammies. That's starting to look promising. I think we're moving in the right direction. How about like here? Oh. There it is. All right. 281 days back, 522 meters per second delta V. I don't have enough on this stage, but I have close to enough. I have 400. So I'll have to use the upper stage to finish it. So we're just going to do this burn. Hold on. That's our preferred shot right there. Okay. Lock, auto, warp. It's on target. All right, so now we have our last stage of the maneuvering thrusters here. Gives us an additional kilometer per second of delta V, which should be enough to get us the rest of the way. Okay. I'm going to manually adjust it with these precision motors. Hey, there we go. 74 kilometers. All right, we're on the return trip. Careening through space here. Okay, so I'm going to go retrograde real quick. Actually, we'll do radial in. Because our apoapsis is still pretty high. All right, so we are just at the edge of the atmosphere. Let's set up a planned burn at periapsis to drop our orbit down a little bit. This will take a little while. This is going to be a longer burn because these engines aren't very powerful. But it'll take 700 of my remaining 900 meters per second of delta V to do. There comes our apoapsis down. I just don't want to hit the atmosphere at like at interplanetary velocity. I want to slow down a little bit. So 4,000 meters per second will be achievable, survivable. Okay. Now at apoapsis, we're just going to do a quick burn right here. And that's going to put us in the atmosphere. I'm going to burn any remaining fuel that I can here before I enter orbit. Cleaning that off real quick. Lock retrograde. Heat shield's taking the heat. Everything else is fine. Looks good. Capsule is not heating up. Capsule is actually cooling down. Perfect. That's perfect. All right. The drag force is going up, but the temperature is going down as we decelerate. And the heat shield survived. All right. I was getting a little worried we were running out, but it is survived, and now the heat shield is cooling off. Drag force is still high. As we get to thicker and thicker portions of the atmosphere, we're going to continue to decelerate. We're not at terminal velocity yet. Parachute opens automatically. Parachute fully deploys, and we will just coast down to the surface. Our man inside. I never put a man in it? Oh, no! I forgot to man the capsule. I'm dumb. All right, whatever. We'll recover it. We'll recover it anyway. We still got good tech points out of that. We could have squeezed out another 30 or so, but oof, whatever. So we have 85 tech points left to spend. Landing gear, nah. We could get better tires, but I don't really need better tires right now. I thought I put one in there too at the very beginning, but I apparently didn't. Apparently did not. So I think I want new rockets. So modern engineer gives us the Pixie, and then that unlocks the big engines, right? Aerospike, nuclear, all those crazy stuff. So we're going to do this one. It's fine. It's fine. There's another racing contract. Okay. Another orbit rescue. 10 million. There's another surface rescue. A Brigo impactor, that wouldn't be too hard. Let's do the Drew orbit rescue. There was not an astronaut in that capsule. Well, hey, you know what? It's a good proof of concept mission. We're going to save this as career mode rocket. Career mode Silero rocket. Let's load our rescue rocket up. We've already got one that works. Let's get up there and rescue this guy. Get him out of space. He's been in space for too long already. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit trickier of a maneuver to make. So I'm just going to launch. We're just going to get to orbit. All right, second stage is away. Now I'm deliberately overshooting his orbit, right? Because we're going to have to slow down relative to him. And I also need to make a big inclination change to line up our orbits. Okay. How much fuel do I have left? Delta V wise? 753. That's plenty. Plan burned at apoapsis. That should do. Just a quick burn to drop my periapsis onto his orbit. I need to be lined up here. Okay. Now I could just do a couple orbits, and I think it will at this point, so he's behind us, but he's catching up every time we go around, right? Closest approach is about 400 kilometers closer every time. So on this next burn, is when we go for the precision right here. Three kilometers is pretty good. We can fly it in manually from 3 kilometers. Okay, everything else is going to be done from the target frame of reference. Do our last like full orbit. Here we come. Okay, we're going to go retrograde to target. And then I'm going to push up over here. Oop, too much, too much. $1.5. Within a kilometer now. Okay. So he's right there. There he is. Yep, we got pretty much right on the money where we wanted to be. So I'm going to lock to the target. orient myself. Turn on my ration control system. Toggle translate mode. Ah! Damn it. I did it again. Okay. I'm going to switch to this craft. I'm going to EVA this guy. Enter. Okay. Take control. All right. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to push. I'm going to push. Again, I keep hitting space thinking space is up. Space is not up. Up is up. But we've got a plan. I'm going to target that. We're doing some precise maneuvers here, boys. We're going to go up. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. I don't want that UI. Nope, that just kicked it. Got it. Okay. For the most part, I've got it. And I've lost it. Did I deorbit it at least? Nope. Lock target. All right. I've still got fuel. What I don't have is any RCS fuel left. So we're going to have to do this with the main engine alone. Possible, just difficult. Because I got to get behind him, basically. Oh man. Can I salvage this? I don't know. I think I can. I technically can, but this is going to be tricky. Okay, so I'm drifting towards him. And I missed. Okay. Hold on. First, let's just orient myself. Okay. Okay, velocities have been set. I should... Okay, I'm going to slow down time real quick. I'm going to take control of this guy, and I'm going to set him to lock velocity retrograde. I did. I've seen it. Yeah, the new clad, is it? I just need to get this into the atmosphere. Is that going to be enough? That might be enough. All right, we're going to let it drift. I think I did it. No, it's 81 kilometers. No. Career rescue rocket control. Target. Lock target. Okay, gotta get back. Okay, we made it back. It wasn't under 80. Yeah. The trajectories for the two crafts were different. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. This guy, lock him retrograde. Does he have no gyros? He should have gyros. He has no gyros. Okay. So all of my control is going to have to be through this guy. So I'm going to do this lineup again. And I'm about to lose the sunlight too, which is going to make this extra hard. Okay. Lock target. Rotate around. Now I have just a little bit left in my RCS thrusters. Okay. We're at 77 kilometers now. I think this might put us in the atmosphere. This might just do it. Okay, we're in the atmosphere, right? We got air density coming up. But we're very high in the atmosphere, so that's not going to slow us down a ton. So we actually have to do multiple passes here. Yeah, we could take a look at it. Okay, come on. Come on. I'm not going to give up on this mission. Each time we hit the atmosphere, we don't have anything left on board. Our batteries are almost dead. But we're getting slightly lower, right? So our apoapsis is coming down now. We'll probably skip off the atmosphere on this one again, too. Yep, we're coming back up. Yeah, there is some risk to reentry, but we'll see if we can make it. There we go. All right, you see how periapsis is moving away from us? We're going to go in the atmosphere this time. We're not going to skip off. Now, hopefully, because we're just barely hitting the atmosphere, the reentry heating won't be too bad. But for some reason, my heat shield is pointing the wrong direction. Okay, there we are. We are no longer in orbit. We're on a collision course. Temperature is rising on the skin, but not very fast. All right. Will we survive reentry? Nope. Parachute's gone. Capsule's taking damage. Capsule's gone. Well, let's retry. Ah, bummer. I can't hit space. I cannot hit space. Space is not the button I want to hit to go up. Up is the button I want to hit to go up. All right, we're doing the mission again. We'll succeed this time because I'm not going to detach the same way. This is not a hard mission unless you detach the pod because you're stupid. Okay. Inclination change burn put us on the same path as him. Thereabouts. Not quite. So let's go to the descending node. I'm just going to real quick bring this up ever so slightly. There we go. $153. We're at 151. There we go. So a 1.23 meter per second change of velocity to raise our periapsis to match him. So that's going to be our encounter point. Now we just add a burn at periapsis. This will get us on a more eccentric, wider orbit. There it is. Lock it. So one more pass around. We do this quick burn here. All right, target. This one's for all the marbles. Here we go. There we go. Let's point at him. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Don't press space. Space is not up. Just nice and easy into the target. All right, we're fully in shadow now. I'm going to lock on target. Thrusters on. Lock. Just going to burn forward for a little bit. There we go. Out of translate mode. Rotate my frame of reference to the sky. All right, Jacob, have a good one. Take care. Thanks for joining in. There we go. All right. Use our RCS thrusters to move towards him. Have a good one. Let's decelerate, decelerate. Okay. Shift to the other craft. EVA our astronaut. Start drifting towards the capsule. Enter the capsule. Retrograde orbit orientation. Turn off the RCS so I don't blow all my fuel. We want to point retrograde. Light our engines. Engines are burning. All right, space capsule's rotated in the right direction. Interstage. Manually activate the interstage, I guess. Wait. Hold on. What's going on here? Why am I should still have juice. Why do I have no juice? Damn it. All right. He died. I think that's it. I'm not going to try this again. I think I need to change the design on this thing. Do I not have batteries on this? It worked once. Why didn't it work a second time? Let's go look at this real quick. It's got power. Do I need to add like extra batteries to this? I could do that, I guess. Okay. Put some batteries in there, and for good measure, some solar panels on this. All right, we'll save this as our new rescue rocket. All right, that's where I'm going to leave the live stream today. But hey, we did pretty good. We got to Silaro. We got to Silaro orbit, and we did the flyby mission successfully. We even returned the vehicle, so that design will work. And next time we have another Silaro mission come up, we can absolutely send it. Send a guy there, you know. We did a couple of racing contracts. We earned some tech points, so we made some decent progress. So thank you guys for turning into the live stream. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.